This is the 5th straight time that the Bills and Chiefs have played in Kansas City now. We always talk about the Chiefs and how it seems most of their games are in Arrowhead, the big ones. That is the case with the Bills, and it's usually a big game when they play. If you look at the Chiefs right now, 5 of the last 7 weeks, the Chiefs offense has scored 21 points or less. And that's not something we're accustomed to with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and that crew. So a lot of the attention goes to the wide receivers for good reason. They lead the league in drops. Think about the big drops Chiefs receivers have had this year. Kadarius Toney against Detroit probably cost them that game. You had Marquez Valdez-Scantling against the Eagles, probably cost them that game. Things we don't normally see from the Chiefs, we are seeing right now. And I'm a little concerned, Ziggy. I said on our Packers-Chiefs reaction show, this is the most I've doubted them. And I don't like to doubt Mahomes, but this is the most I've doubted that squad in the Mahomes-Reed era. Are you on board with that?
I think there's certainly things to doubt. And I don't think anybody expected this to be a must-win game for both teams in the way that it is. Mm-hmm. Obviously you want to win a game like this, right? But the Bills, if they lose this game, they are close to out of the playoffs. So they have to win. The Chiefs, meanwhile, if they lose, they are going to see the 1 seed slip away. So I think there's a lot to be worried about for the Chiefs. Of course, in his career, Sean McDermott, 6-0 after the bye. Certainly a guy who knows how to prepare for games like these. And with an offense that's struggling and a defense that's having a hard time carrying the load, because against the good offensive teams like the Eagles, like the Bills, like the Packers, apparently, it can be tough for the defense to do enough. So yeah, I definitely think it is time to be concerned because the goal of the Chiefs isn't to win the division. They've got that locked up. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. And it's starting to look like that's not a guarantee anymore, like you might have thought coming into the season.
And we remember Mahomes has never played a road playoff game before. Not that we're questioning his ability to go and win on the road, but it's just something that's unfamiliar for Chiefs fans right now is to not be the favorite to get the 1 seed. And you're not only behind Baltimore, you're also behind Miami. And then there's Jacksonville in there who's dealing with their own issues with Trevor Lawrence. But what's funny is you mentioned McDermott 6-0 off bye weeks. The Chiefs have won 11 straight games coming off a loss. So something has to give there. Something that I found pretty interesting, though. 80% of bets are on Kansas City money line, but 50% of the money, about 50%, is on the Bills money line. I'm actually leaning Buffalo right now, which is crazy to think, from where Buffalo's been up and down all season. But I still think this is a really good football team. I know that we had the video that said the Bills are officially effed, and I still think they're in a lot of trouble. But in this game right now, when I'm looking at it, I think it's going to be a close game. Most of these are. I like where Buffalo's at, and I'm concerned about Kansas City. Is that crazy?
You can't be happy with Mahomes showing up on the injury report today. First, he had to have his knee taped up against Green Bay. Now, apparently, he's hurt a pectoral muscle during practice. Like, the more Mahomes takes these hits and the more he gets let down, the more I just worry about whether this team is going to start entering a rut. I guess not entering, they're in one. It's about getting out of the one they're already in. I don't know, like this Bills team, I just feel it deep in my heart is too good to not make the playoffs. Right. But with games remaining against the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Chargers, you do need to eventually start winning your games. And the Bills are going to come in motivated, doing their best to win this because they've got a whole lot of history in Arrowhead.
That's the other part, too, is the Bills are coming in with their backs against the wall. The Chiefs, it's important for the Chiefs to win this one, but they're probably going to win the AFC West. If Buffalo loses this game, they're done. They really are done. It would take a miracle for them to get in. So with a must-win, Kansas City not playing all that well, Josh Allen had one of his best games of the year in Philly. Like the Bills should have won that game. It took a 59-yard field goal from Jake Elliott in disgusting conditions for that game to even get to overtime. So I like Buffalo there. And I also think they're going to get after Mahomes in this one. If you take a look at some Robert Ziggy Ziegler stats right here, the Bills are 3rd with 41 sacks right now this year and 5th in QB hits. So they're getting after the quarterback. Their edge rushers are playing well. Mahomes already a little banged up. We'll see how mobile he is. I'm picking Buffalo close. Obviously never comfortable doing that against Kansas City, but I'll go Bills. How about you?
I think I'm going to go Bills.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know this is always a tough combination, but the cards it feels like they are aligning for Buffalo. It feels like things are going in the opposite direction for the Chiefs. And even though I can't quite quantify it, I do believe in momentum in the NFL. And this is a momentum spot if I've ever seen it.
This is and now that we're both on the Bills, Mahomes is going to come out and throw for 400
Oh, yeah, no,
yards.
you're going to make a reel with us saying like the Bills, it's their time. They're going to lose by 30 points, and we're still getting comments on that Eagles 49ers video 10 days later.
Yeah, crazy. You know, Zach did a double take when you said Buffalo. I think he was shocked to see the two of us pick against Kansas City.
I mean, maybe this is just something about my character, but I am so rattled after seeing not just that they lost to the Packers, but how they lost to the Packers.
Dude,
I'm overreacting, and it's causing me to reevaluate this team.
All the money was on the Packers last week. A lot of the sharps were on Green Bay, and that's a situation where I look back and, you know, I don't like to doubt that when I see that, like, all the money on one team, but I was going, the Chiefs? Really? The Packers? And then, you know, lo and behold, Jordan Love has his best game of his career. We'll talk about the Packers in a little bit because their fan base is thrilled. They're thrilled with the Packers. They're thrilled with our show. They're just happy with everything right now, which, you know, disgusts me. But at the same time, it's good for the show. It makes good content. And Jordan Love, I do like him, even though he's a Packer. The Bills' remaining schedule, it's tough. You know, it is the next 2 weeks at Kansas City, hosting the Cowboys. If they're able to pull off one of the two, you finish at the Chargers versus the Patriots and at the Dolphins. It doesn't get a whole lot easier, but, you know, I think they could beat the Chargers on the road. Patriots, they should win at home. And then Miami, you could have a shot, you know, a puncher's chance there. This is still a top 10 team in the league to me, though, talent-wise. Like, I think they're really good. It's just, you said it earlier, at some point you have to win these games, and think about how many different moments Buffalo has had. 4 turnovers against the Jets, the Patriots game-winning drive, Broncos 12 men on the field, Eagles 59-yard field goal. We're not far from looking at like a 10-2 or 9-3 Buffalo team, but because the ball has bounced a couple different ways, and, you know, it's been their fault as well. You know, Buffalo has done this to themselves. It's going to be an uphill battle to get in, but you do think they sneak in? Do you think you're picking them more because you can't see a playoffs without Josh Allen, especially in a week?
I refuse to accept it.
Okay.
I think the odds for them making the playoffs at plus 380 are about right. But are you telling me the Buffalo Bills aren't making the playoffs?
I mean, they have to win this week.
I know. No, it's unbelievable that week 13, they are in a must-win situation going to Kansas City. I would not have expected this, but unfortunately, that's just where they are.
If they had been able to pull off that Eagles game and they were sitting at 7-5, I mean, it's a world of difference. And now we're talking about a team. A lot of people would be saying the Super Bowl could be on for Buffalo if they'd be in Philadelphia, I bet. But man, it's an uphill battle. I have them just missing it. But this is really the week where if they lose, then they're officially, to me, gone. But if they win, then we'll be here talking about them hosting the Cowboys.